The chaos reign. Chaos Reign presents the Little Big Nate Show, broadcast December the 28th, 2021. Enjoy.
The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at TalkRealSolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of TalkRealSolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not TalkRealSolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
In a world where there's crime, corruption, violence, murder, rape, theft, and all forms of atrocities that plague the world in which we live in today, what you're witnessing, we are living in a state of chaos. Take a more extreme or chaos to restore the order in which we live in today.
Welcome. Good evening, people, and those that are listening from far and above. This is Chaos Reign here. As you know, this is one of the few actually one of many broadcasts to wrap up 2021 in a very nice fashion. But before I give you the title for today's stream, I would like everybody to go to talkrealsolutions.com. There you see the 3-point plan for Black empowerment, Black achievement. And also on the website, you see a list of Black established banks located in, I think, roughly 30 states in the United States. There's probably under 30 Black established banks still present, God willing. So if you have any accounts, regular accounts from regular banks, it would be nice to throw some money in a Black established bank. So, look through the website and you'll find a list of Black established banks today, and then, start investing your money into a Black established bank. Also, on Talk Real Solutions, because I don't really give and repeat this, as you notice, the economy has a little been shifting lately for a lot of people, especially Black people especially. And like always, the mission on T.R.S. is always advised to start a Black-owned business. Now, this could be any business, whether small or big. Nonetheless, turn whatever you think is your love or desire and make it a business. And trust me, you're going to have to make it a business. The way how things are coming down the pipe in regards to the tax side of things, but I can't really go into that. That would be, and I cover around the month of January if I find the article. But nonetheless, it's good to have your own small business. So if you're eager and you have no fear of, taking risks, I would highly advise have a Black-owned business today and start to grow wealth in other forms than just your regular 9-to-5 job. So check that out. That's something you also could do, and I think that's also on the website as well. And also, there's a donation tab on TRS Talk Real Solutions. So when you find that in the website, you can support as low as $5 or less to the channel. Keep it interesting, keep it fun, keep the lights going on the Talk Real side. Solutions, So that's all the information on the website. Also, you can also subscribe or like the fan page of Talk Real Solutions on Facebook. Type in Talk Real Solutions on Facebook and join the Facebook page where you get invited into the private chat room of TRS. There are a lot of things that have been going in the DM. We talk about a lot of things, politics, bunch of stuff, But you will know that once you subscribe to the page or like the page on Facebook, and you get invited to the private DM or the chat room side of TRS on Facebook. So like the page today. And, Talk Real Solutions also on YouTube as well. Same name with the line, Talk Real Solutions. And, you also can subscribe to the YouTube side as well. So if you subscribe to the channel on Talk Real Solutions, you could do so as well. As you know, I do shows on there as well. And, everybody else that that does shows on TRS is mostly ranged from 6 to possibly 7 days of the week, depending on who's doing shows. As you know, I do my shows mostly on the weekends or the weekdays, depending on the exceptions. But nonetheless, some of my broadcasts on that side of that channel as well. So check out Talk Real Solutions on YouTube as well. And like always, you can also subscribe to Chaos Reign channel on YouTube as well. Yes, YouTube Chaos has a channel as well. Make sure you hit the red button and the top bell for all notifications when I go live or there's an upload on YouTube as well. So that's all the information I can lay out for now. I think that's it. Okay, so let us begin the show, which everybody either is familiar or going to be familiar with now. So tonight's broadcast, Chaos Reign presents the LittleBig Nate show. And trust me, you're not going to regret. This is going to be something. *61, if you could press it, LittleBig Nate, I can see on the board. *61. As you know, matter of fact, I do this better, so you don't have to worry about it. I present to y'all for the very first time here on I present to y'all for the very first time here on T.R.S. Talk Real Solutions, the one and only, the LittleBig Nate. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Hey, Chaos. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome, sir. Welcome, LittleBig Nate. You know, at times
My first time doing a show like this. What's up?
Oh, well, you know, it's always a first time for everything, brother.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. As y'all know, well, before I go into the details, LittleBig Nate, like always on the Chaos Reign side of the TRS section of YouTube, I always like to take a step back in time, move forward in the present, and hopefully move onward to the future. So, for the first time here on TRS, tell a little people about yourself.
I'm just a blue-collar brother. I'm a single dad. I came to YouTube in the Manosphere about almost 5 years ago. And I watched the space for a couple of years before I decided to come up on platforms. Came up on platforms about 2 years ago and started a channel about 9 months ago in March of this year. And tried to add my voice to the array of voices that are in this space, you know, representing black men speaking for themselves. So, and it's been a very interesting journey, to say the least.
Excellent. Now, before we go in, to let people know where I came across you, LittleBig Nate, I think it was, if I can remember, it was on the Obsidian Network back in 2019, some around, or the end of 2019, I can recall. This is what I can remember when I first heard your voice. And the first thing that comes to mind is this is a man that has a very powerful voice. And I didn't know you were a short man at first, but say for a man that delivered himself is very powerful. And if you remember, LittleBig Nate, you told your stories from a lot of people that started to get comfortable about you, that it's not just this part of the Manosphere that people knew. You once was called in on Tariq Nasheed's channel one time, haven't you?
No, I never called in on Tariq Nasheed's.
You never told? Okay. I might have been wrong.
Mm-hmm. I called in on O'Shea's once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when O'Shea had Donovan Sharp and LAR up there, I called in once, and Donovan Sharp came up with a nickname for me.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he said he called me Napalm Nate. That's what he called me.
Yeah, Donovan Sharp is very unique. He's also a good content creator. Y'all got to check him out as well, people. If y'all are not familiar with Donovan Sharp, he has, matter of fact, most of his content mostly focuses on the relationship sides, how to, spot game, especially women. I think mostly white women, but nonetheless, how to really pick apart certain women, their sign language, the language of what they're saying. So if you want to understand the psychology of a certain set of women, Donovan Sharp is the expert. So you got to check him out, people. And he has a lot of books, too. Let y'all know. So that's what I came across and noticed when your presence, because you were very passionate in voicing it of not only your rhetoric, but your political views about how to address the black community, Now, mind you, if you remember LittleBig Nate, a year ago, a lot of people didn't really have a full understanding what you're getting at first, but there are some men in the Manosphere do respect because they feel what you're getting at, and they believe the same solutions, what you lay out, is also simple to correct the problems of the black community. So I'm not sure if you want to go in detail to that for those that's listening, your views about black families, etc., from your views, from a man that's more seasoned.
Sure, no problem. The benefit of being a quote-unquote conservative is having a very simple set of beliefs that undergird everything you do. It's really based in logic. A man should be productive He should be the head of his household. Women are there to assist a man in fulfilling his obligations to God. We raise our children to be reflections of us. The type of child you produce speaks greatly on the type of parent you are. We have obligations to our families. We have a lot of problems with women and getting them to understand what their proper role is, because you have to fight against popular culture and all the things that it's telling these ladies. But it's really simple. These are simple cultural fixes to these very profound problems. Without changing the culture, it doesn't matter who you vote for. Doesn't matter, what the cause celeb is. It's just not going to matter. We have to have a culture that respects and honors hard work, accomplishments, education. And until I know we're never going to get that across the broad scope of Black America, but we can get a small group of us that can believe that way and just go on about our own business and get to achieving our goals, which is what I promote. Separation, honestly. Mm-hmm. And that's just something I've been preaching ever since I've come on panels.
Okay. Hold on, let me get the call number for those who want to call in. Hold on a second. Wait, what's my thing? Okay. The call number for tonight's show is 717-908-1834. The access code is 917-324#. I repeat, 717-908-1834. Access code 917-324#. Tonight's show is Chaos Reign presents the Little Big Nate Show. On your value system, this is something from your own experience, from I'm not sure your background, how you were raised, but have you always believed and operate like this throughout as a man? I'm not sure how old you are, if you want to reveal it to people that's listening in. Have you always been firm on this from wherever age you were to now?
I came into, political maturity in my probably late 20s, but I always had a set of beliefs I was introduced to by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. When I was in my late teens, I began to watch speeches of his, and he was my introduction to conservative thought. It wasn't really labeled as conservative at the time, but if you know anything about the ministry, very conservative. What they promote, the family values they promote, very conservative. And it kind of just tied in to, the political side of things. The older I got, I saw how his values really aligned with somebody like a Patrick Buchanan, aligned with, other famous conservative ideologues on the right. They shared a lot more beliefs than they differed in. So I kind of found a home, with the conservative movement within the Republican Party. After 9/11, I kind of gave up on the Republicans. I didn't like the Patriot Act. I didn't like how they handled 9/11. Mm-hmm. So I stopped. Yeah, I stopped calling myself a Republican and just concentrated more on the morals and the values of the conservative movement. And, if the Republican Party's platform, the RNC, if their beliefs and the platform they're promoting, if it lined up with what I believe, that's the way I would vote. So,
I kind of like that a little bit, Nate, because me as a person, I was not really into politics back in the mid or early 2000s, roughly. And my reason, because like you, like most people, I think I just value into it in regards to Black people at that time. But now, as I get older now, I always sit back and see that if we're going to play the political game, it needs to play right. We have to understand what we really want and have to pick a side that will sit there cater to the needs of our people. And people forgot that this country, before Democrats were developed back in the 1800s, it was always funded run by the Republic. You know, and I'm not sure what was the purpose why they created a Democrat. I can't go into history because I'm not really well versed. If you want to go in it, that's fine. That I think they create another party for distraction. You get me? Because if people view certain values, there's no way in hell this country will be moving the way it is now in over almost 2 centuries since the creation of the Democrat Party. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that.
Well, you know, I don't want to go too far back into history. Like the Democrats, from what I understand, were created back in like the mid 1800s. Yeah. I like to keep addressing our issues, you know, as close to today as I can. Okay. I think one of our problems is black people is constantly reaching back into history. I have no problem, you know, acknowledging things that were done, but I don't think it serves a good purpose for us. Especially, you know, we tend to be emotional, and, you know, these rehashing things that happened in the past tends to get us off our square, you know. But I'm just primarily concerned about today and how we can get whatever number of black people want to progress and move forward, take advantage of living in this country. I want to work with those people and get things handled.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I always look for moving onward. The past is okay to a degree if people are well versed to have an understanding, which people should have an understanding for anything else. But we have to focus on what that is relevant that could help us now in this uncertain environment we're in now in the 21st century as a people. As you know, we talk about black people, black America especially, that they think it's getting better, but really we're not only backwards, but it's getting worse as the decades progress. And one of the few things that is a result why we're getting worse is because of the policies put in place that we're not paying attention to really start combating that hurts, let's be honest, black men, if we want to be honest. You get me? And this doesn't really help sustain us, or even the ones that have values to want families, or black men want families. It doesn't really sustain in the long term, because even now I've noticed, and I wish I could read these certain bills right now, but I'll give you one example. There was one bill was read by another brother. I forgot the bill was called. I'll tell you in a second, but it was supposed to be set aside to helping, I guess, black girls and black women in protection, which didn't go through. But the bill was more focused on the opposite side, instead of just, if they're going to focus on black women, it should be focused on children, black girls and black boys, but that's not in the language. Some of the hidden language dealing with LGBT or some of the other weird stuff to really put into self-preserve them while using us as people as a scapegoat for the political gain, which people are not really smart and not paying attention to the language, because usually when you read the written language, there's certain clues, certain codes they use to still keep you away from what is really intended for. So that bill didn't really go through. But nonetheless, it was written and constructed by a sister, and she was thinking on herself as an individual. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the bill. I'll tell you the name of it. But the question I had to ask, do you think more black men should be more focused on their self-interest instead of dealing with, I guess, black women in regards to get certain things done?
That's exactly what black men do. Not to dismiss black women, but it's only when you develop men that you're covering. When you develop a man, you're covering the entire quote-unquote black family. You know, focusing on the girls, we see what happens when you focus on the women. You give women power, oftentimes it corrupts them. They tend to be very abusive with it. The power will go to their head oftentimes. You develop a young man, you're developing him to be able to cover a wife and children, you know, a functioning family. And the emphasis should always be on the boys.
Mm-hmm.
The emphasis should always be on the boys. You develop great boys, everything else will fall into place. You put all of your onus and focus on the woman. This is what we have. We have a bunch of unruly women who don't know when to be women, don't know when to stop acting like men. And you have the problems that we see in the black community with, the diminishing marriage rates, the high out of wedlock birth rates, and just all the problems that we see all over the country, but just more. It's so much more emphasized in the black community. So, but we should focus on doing for us, but not be expecting anything in the way of help necessarily from the government or anybody else. We literally have all that we need to accomplish whatever we put our minds to. Problem is, we sit around waiting for some celebrity black politician to come and save the day, and it's just not going to happen. You can't vote our way out of these problems. But like-minded men can come together and bring about whatever reality they choose to. So that's what we need to do, regardless of what black women are doing, regardless of what Democrats are doing, regardless of what anybody's doing. We get like-minded men together and work towards whatever we want to do. No, there's nobody to tell us no. And if somebody comes and tries to, cool. We'll deal with that when it happens. But we just need to take the initiative. That's the biggest problem, not taking the initiative.
Okay. As a man, I deal with, sometimes I come across other young black men or men my age, and you probably had the same experience. Do you find it that a lot of these grown adult men, 18 and up, that it's kind of hard to really, in my words, deal with or work with other men when they have a certain mindset and function like a female? Do you experience that from your side, LittleBigNate? I know it's just me, but I sometimes experience that sometimes, dealing with certain men in regards to getting certain things done or having constructive conversations. It always go back to they carry a certain behavior like a woman. That's one of my questions.
Yeah, it's what happens when a little boy has to model himself after his emotionally imbalanced mother. And that's what most black boys end up doing. Your fathers aren't around. Moms didn't want to pick the types of guys that make good fathers. They end up being baby mama number 3, baby mama number 5. And, you have to share your father with several other children around town. And so you model yourself as a young man after your mom. And jealousy, enmity, emotionalism, these are all female traits. And that's what you end up having in grown men. Men shouldn't be jealous. I honestly cannot tell you that I've ever been jealous of another man. Yeah. At the most, I'll tap him on the shoulder and ask him, hey, man, how did you do that? If he's been able to accomplish something that I want to know about. But, this is what happens when 60, 70, now almost 80% of your boys are raised by single mothers. It's not unique to black America. It's just, we're the ones that have fully embraced leftist ideology, which tells black women to engage in this behavior, And this is the end result. We're going to have all these problems with our men. And, black women get to sit there and point their fingers, but never acknowledge the significant role they played in making this mess. And it's quite a mess. And, the most we can do is just, again, get that small group of functioning black people that want to work together, want to accomplish something, and get busy doing it,
Okay. Excellent. Have you, since doing and making content on the YouTube side of things, have you experienced or made enemies during the journey since doing content on your own channel for the past 9 months?
Sure. Oddly enough, I've never attacked anyone in this space, never disrespected anyone, but I've attacked the left and the Democrats, and dudes have actually taken it personally. They've gotten in their feelings, and, you know, they've attacked me on several people's different platforms and stuff, which is fine, but I'm the kind of guy that fights back, and they really don't like it when I fight back. They really don't like that. But oh yeah, I've got my battle scars and stuff. It's no problem. But you know, that's how you know you're having an effect. You know, people just want to take aim at you. And again, none of the few guys that have taken aim at me can ever say I ever disrespected them. They took the initiative to disrespect me, and I respond. You know, but this is the problem of the effeminate male. You know, and it is what it is, man. You know, we're just they'll get smacked in their face when they need to, and we'll just keep moving forward and accomplishing our goals, man. That's it.
Excellent. And let me give the call number for those who want to have questions for LittleBig Nate, and let y'all know this is LittleBig Nate. I won't say not channel, but he is the guest nonetheless to, you know, wrap up this wonderful year we've been having, 2021 especially. The call number is 717-908-1834. Access code is 917-324#. I repeat, 717-908-1834. Access code 917-324#. Tonight's subject, Chaos Reign presents The LittleBig Nate Show. Now, one thing, during this journey, you're doing content. And if you know LittleBig Nate, everything is a learning experience, as you know. A lot of people must understand it's not easy just turning on the mic and voicing just opinion. You always got to have a logical reason why you create the subjects and lay out the dissertation you do, you know. As you know, if you know my history, I was doing podcasts before I did YouTube back in 2019. And usually I always set myself up every week to come up with either a guest or a game plan of what is the subject and try to carry forward of the subject to either answer the question or talk about a various topic that people don't really discuss. And, you know, my show, it varies from politics, technology, relevant information, current events, etc. But nonetheless, I had to make the time and effort to create the broadcast, you know. So from your view, your own opinion, what do you take out of what you have learned or you feel you could have learned to, I guess, put out a much more higher quality content from your own channel since doing this for under a year?
Well, you know, people credit me with, you know, this voice, and, you know, I need to, like, do, like, voiceovers and read audiobooks, and I could make money doing that. And I probably could. And to be honest, that's what helped me. That plus, I like to talk about things I'm passionate about. You know, I think anyone can make any subject interesting, you know, if you're passionate about it. There are things that aren't interesting, but get somebody that's passionate about a particular subject, they could make it interesting, or certain aspects of it interesting. You know, it all depends on how the person presents the information. And, you know, what I've learned on YouTube is you got to keep abreast of the whatever the topic of the day is. You know, if it's Will Smith and Jada, if it's Chloe Bailey, or, you know, whatever's going on, you'd be wise to jump on that subject matter train. And, you know, when there is no soup du jour of the day, you know, speak to things that mean something to you and that you can speak passionately about, you know.
You know me, I don't really jump on anything that is trending right away because, like how I operate for now, is I like to sit back and get the information get the scoop enough to find all the details and eventually do an actual upload or a stream on it firsthand from my perspective. I mean, that's how I operate, but I know how people operate nowadays. They feel the first come, first serve basics, forget about the details, screw the facts, all that nonsense. And that's cool if you want to get some quick likes and views. That's cool, but me, I deal with the intellectual side of things and get all the information enough before I give a real take. And to me, I think that's more logical journalism. And I'm not journalism per se, but that's how I would say to go about it. But I know how most people nowadays, how they operate. They want to get it out there now, so I'm the first one to give the scoop. But no, say you gave the scoop, but there was certain information that was inaccurate, and you don't go back to rebuttals on the things because you didn't get full information. And I don't want to be that type of person, you know. No, people think say, well, it's a rel, people not really pay attention to detail or the truth. And I say, well, you might not think of that, but most people that's putting out content, especially on celebrities, you want to get your facts straight before you go ahead and do that, you know. Just like the Mega Stallion with the thing with the per game shooting her foot. Now we found out that it could be Tory Lanez's so-called side chick or girlfriend that might have shot her in the foot. But we would know that because we think, oh, she got shot by Tory Lanez. He done it. He's a baddie. He's evil. And mind you, Tory Lanez is a short little dude from Canada, a West Indian Canadian. You know what I'm saying? So that he has the capability, he might do that. But when I think about logically, is he really going to put himself at risk to do time in jail and be deported back to Canada? I don't think so. Because it don't make no sense. You get me? And I know most Negroes today are dumb, but yeah, go ahead.
Just think about the restraint he had to demonstrate to people not to come out and say, this is all a lie. Her girlfriend shot her. Like, oh, my God, man, dude, that is insane. For him to never just come out and say what happened. That's what's weird. I mean, Lord knows I would have said, I didn't shoot her. Her girlfriend shot her, playing with the gun or whatever. But he didn't do that for some strange reason. But, you know, I often like to speak to the character of black men, you know, and it's just another example of it. You know, in spite of what they say about us, man, we are so much better than, you know, even our biological counterparts let on, you know.
And it's shown now, and here's the funny thing that Tory Lanez effed up on. He could have gone his course. He could have probably made play deal or did something to really take a lesser charge, don't let it go through court. I don't think he would have got deportation, but because he got so emotional, and I think something must have happened that triggered him to be so emotional, why he didn't go through with it. So now we hear it's going to trial next month in January, that there was something in the deal that he does not like, because that was the whole game plan. Because like you said, LittleBig Nate, he is probably protecting the girl that he's having intercourse with, because trust me, he is having sex with both of them. Don't be mistaken, people. But because this woman that actually shot her, which is non-black, I can see why he's trying to protect her. You get me? But nonetheless, he can't keep his emotions in check, and maybe it's not in the cards where the deal was fair for him. So now they had to go through actual trial, which now, if this pans out, which it should be, a lot of people are going to look at Meg differently. You know? They might not even take her serious now. Yeah.
I mean, the only people that took her serious are the most misguided people anyway. I mean, this woman sat down with Maxine Waters after making some of the most atrocious music that you'll hear come out of a woman's mouth, and she was celebrated, and they gave her the key to the city of Houston, I believe. These are the people we need to separate from. I'm sorry. They're horrible. All this woman is going to do is to lead your little girl into prostitution. That's all they do. Yeah. And once you get a young woman trading her vagina for trinkets and using her body as a medium of exchange, she has no value. There's nothing you can do with her. You know, we just recently had a case. The young 23-year-old woman and who was on Bumble. And,
you mean Connecticut?
She was the one hooking up with older white men.
Yes, she's from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Yeah. Yes, I heard about that.
Yes. And she, out here engaged in prostitution. A lot of these girls are prostitutes. A beautiful girl, had every... why isn't she planning for a family and a husband and a future? And she grew up in a two-parent household. I saw her father as part of the interview. What is she doing out prostituting herself? Mm-hmm. It's insane, and they all think it's okay. And this is the kind of behavior that woman, Meg the Stallion, is what she promotes, man. And I just like speaking against this. Every chance I get, I want to show you just how wicked and corrupt these people are, man.
I see. And the funny thing about it, because I didn't read the article about it, but I've been hearing, and this is just me now, that I'm not sure the background of the parents, but the sad thing about all this is she was still defiant over her family, especially her father, to do something totally opposite, which I heard she had a good head on her shoulder until I heard she was prostituting herself throughout the social media / dating sites just for trinkets. Bro. And it makes me think it makes me think that even you as a black man, if you do everything possible, you can't save your daughters in this Western culture we're in, this sick culture we're in. I'm sorry.
All you can do, and I have a daughter, and all you can do is tell them what's right. And they'll grow up, they'll make their own decisions. And, I told my daughter before she left to go live with her mom when she was 17, I said, you choose not to listen to what I've taught you, I'll let this world rip you to pieces. And I am dead serious, though. Mm-hmm. If these young girls who have fathers that love them, that take care of them, don't want to acknowledge their fathers and use them as the resource that they're supposed to, then let them go out and ruin themselves, man. Just let them. Mm-hmm. And the girls who do what they're supposed to do, they'll be the ones that reap the benefits of having a man in your life that loves you and wants to guide you and steer you properly. So.
Mm-hmm. I see. I remember having another conversation with Mr. Sperling, and he did a stream solely in regards to the rise of females incarceration, where women are getting locked up, sisters especially, in more numbers. Not as much as men, but it's growing. And now, when he asked about the solution parts, I told him, personally honest, I don't see no solution. Because if a young girl that becomes an adult, acting uncharacteristic, acting like a man, doing whatever, and gets up in a position with law enforcement, or either physical violence or even theft, 9/10 of the time, this system's going to just lock you up just the same way they treat black males, and they're going to do it in the highest form of levels. Where if you do time in jail, they eat off years of your life, your good, precious years, where you could be, if not careful, when you go to jail, be at high risk pregnancy. Because you just don't do 5 years in jail for any small misdemeanor. They throw the book on you, LittleBig Nate. They make you do years, 10 or more years, on the average. That's insane. So if you, in your 20s or whatever, you will not see the good portion of your existence in the real world until you're like another decade, like 30 or 40 years later, depending on the age you go in. So to find out this is now a rise, and I gave him my answer. Now he didn't like the answer because say you have nieces, nieces, or wherever in your family that's women, that you gonna allow them to be in the system where law enforcement might abuse you or lock up your own sisters. And I'm saying I have no control of that, because once you reach a certain age, 18 years or older, and you decide to do wrong, that's a conscious decision. That means you don't want to be under no person's authority. You're not learning enough from any man that's of good influence. Hell, you're not even learning from your mother. So what future you have if you decide to go the dark side, or I like to call demon time? This is the result.
Yeah, it's odd. You know, black American women are the only women on the planet that out of one side of their mouth, they'll say, I ain't listening to no man, and ain't no man going to control me. Then out the other side of their mouth, want those same men to protect them. It's these dueling beliefs that cancel each other out. It's crazy. You can't protect a woman that you can't exercise some modicum of control over. You can't. Because otherwise, you just get to go out there and get me killed. You know, I'm sure you're familiar with the case of the two twerking TikTok twins in Alabama.
I heard about
it. Yeah. And there have, around these two young, ratchet black females, there was the death of their stepdad, the death of their best friend, a female. Then the female's boyfriend sought to enact revenge on the boy that killed them, which was one of the TikTok twins' boyfriend. He kicked the door open and shot a 73-year-old man that had nothing to do with it. So that's 3 deaths there. 2 black men are going to jail for who knows how many decades. And just recently, she left her handgun, one of the twins, that a 2-year-old got to, and the 2-year-old killed himself.
What?
And we're, yeah, dude, go to Pink Book Lessons and just say Alabama TikTok twins, and you can see the story for yourself, man. She did an update about a week ago, and a 2-year-old, she came over a friend's house, brought a gun with her, left the gun under a pillow, and the 2-year-old got the gun and shot himself to death.
Wow.
This is, and black women talk about protecting them. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No man should protect a woman that is not under his leadership, period. That alone, will encourage some black women to say, well, let me go ahead and get myself right and, qualify for a decent man and get up under his leadership so I can be protected. And the rest of black American women can just fend for themselves. Mm-hmm. Under no circumstances should you be protecting a group of women that act like this, a group of women that have more fight videos online than all men combined. I guarantee you, if you count up the fight videos, nobody has more fight videos than black women. And if you put all theirs together, mm-hmm. it will eclipse all races of men put together, probably by about 2 or 3 times. You want fight videos, the main ones you'll find are of black women. And the decent black women are going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to make a decision, ladies. Like, what side of this aisle are you going to come down on? Are you going to stay on code with these monsters, or are you going to separate yourself from them and, begin the process of rebuilding black American women's image in a more decent light? Because I'm going to do a show. Minister Jap is going to be coming on my new channel sometime in February probably. And this will be the subject. We're going to compare black men's image during the late 80s and early 90s, the height of the crack epidemic, gang wars. And we're going to compare that image to what black woman's image is today. And we're going to see who has the worst image.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh,
yeah. And one thing, LittleBig Nate, you said new channel. I don't know if you should be saying that. You should be saying channel. You remember?
No, it'll be this new channel.
Okay. No, well, I'm not gonna go into that right now. Actually, we got some hands. Somebody raised their hands. Let's open the lines. You ready? Take 2 calls.
Sure, go right ahead.
All right. Oh, let me give the number again for those who want to call in. The call number again is 717-908-1834, access code 917324#. Tonight's show, the Little Big Nate show, is on the Cast Rain channel. First caller. Hello? Hold on, let me see. Okay. Hello, first caller open. Who's this?
Greg.
What's good, Greg? What's on your mind? You have any questions for my guest, Little Big Nate?
I agree with. I was going to say one thing. I agree with 95% of Nate's saying. You know that I'm kind of with him on almost everything he's saying. But there was a comment that Michelle Obama made. They asked her who she looked up to, and she said Beyonce. I remember that, and that kind of threw me back. I wasn't expecting that. I wonder if Nate knows about that. If he remembers that comment that Michelle. She looked to Michelle. She looked up to Beyonce, the first lady of the United States. Looked up to a younger woman like Beyonce. I thought that was odd for me. You know, I don't think he go ahead, man.
I'll be honest. I wasn't familiar with that. I would imagine that's just some way to try and connect with a younger audience or something, showing that she's, you know, hip and, you know, in line with what, you know, the young folks think. But nothing surprises me. Like I said, Maxine Waters sat down with Meg Thee Stallion and told her she was magnificent. You know,
I know, man.
Bruh,
you know what?
It's scary.
It's like we're living in bizarro world right now, the black race, and I don't understand we're this way because, man, we are a proud race, and I don't know how we came down to this where we're at today. We're athletes and entertainers, or sort of the out front, you know, and I mean, other races, if they have a problem or you have a discussion, they bring in a professional, you know, a doctor to discuss it. But with us, they'll bring in a rapper, you know, or they're all entertainers anyway. They'll bring in an entertainer. They'll ask him about, you know, they'll ask LeBron about something, or they'll ask. I don't get that shit either. I mean, what's your take on that? I'm curious about that, man.
No, I agree. Why are we listening to Tip about who to vote for? Why are we listening to P. Diddy tell us who to vote? It's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. The you know, in Black America, T.R. Tip. That's what I meant. Yeah, Tip.
Yeah, he got an award.
Yeah.
And this dude went to prison for guns or some shit. I mean, am I the only one seeing this craziness? You know,
it's the problem of we never give the shine to who deserves it. You know, that's why there's such a brain drain in Black America. You know, Marcus Brownlee, who's a famous YouTuber, IT guy, he reviews, you know, stuff. Marcus Brownlee. Wildly successful, multimillionaire. He had to, in essence, leave the black community. He's got a white girlfriend. Not that there's any problem with that. That's his business. Mm-hmm. But so many times, guys like that, our best and brightest, they're forced away from us. You know, and part of the problem is thinking that we're going to do something with the collective of black people. It's just not true. We have no other race of people try to bring along their worst the way we do. We keep attaching this inoperable caboose to our fully functioning train cars, and we never get anywhere. We have to stop doing that. We have to let the caboose sit there and just deteriorate. Let these people go.
But you did say something that kind of, it's sort of an indictment on us, because you said that, you know, the brothers that get it, we need to get together and start exacting change. I wonder why we're not working together to move forward. That's something we need to do. And the people that aren't going to make it, like I say, the 2/3, they aren't going to make it. We really need to leave them alone and just let them burn. That's why I remember actually going to the show, and they talk about mentorship a lot. And I'm against it. I will mentor my nephews and nieces and maybe friends or families. But I think we need to let this baby mama-ism, this matriarchal shit, implode. I'm not going to help it. I'm not going to give it
Absolutely.
any fuel. I'm not going to give it no fire. I want to starve it. I want to drown the alligators. I'm not going to help these single mothers out at all. I don't even give them jump starts. I'm kind of cold-blooded, man. But I want to put an end to this shit, man. I'm tired of seeing these weak-ass males, black men out here that can't do anything. They're emotional. They can't do shit. You know, they act like women. They get mad. They get attitudes like girls, and I'm sick of the whole system, man. You know, I want it gone as quickly as possible. You know, that's what I want. You know, we need to get rid of this matriarch, man. You know.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the Manosphere meetup. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah,
I coordinated that.
Atlanta, right?
Yeah,
I heard about
I'm
it.
the guy that coordinated that.
Did you? I thought it was a sit-in. Did that? I didn't know it was you. Okay.
No, it was myself and Theo. That's
okay.
Yeah, that's who coordinated it. You can YouTube just took my channel down. They third striked me. So yeah, I've had to. Yeah, I'm going to be going into that soon, but for now, yeah, I do have a new channel up. It's Nate Dog 74. Capital Nate, capital DOGG 74, all one word. And if you folks would go subscribe, you'll be part of me rebuilding my channel and stuff.
It's Nate Dog, like the rapper Nate Dogg.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Greg.
Yes, sir.
This is what I would do. Are you subscribed to Chaos Rain channel, Greg?
No, I'm not.
You need to. I put all that information in the description on my channel.
I didn't know you had a channel. I really didn't know.
Are you listening from YouTube or are you calling straight from your phone when you're on the stream?
My phone. I'm phone.
Yeah, you're
phone.
going.
Hold on.
This one I'm gonna do, Greg. Listen good. You know my name. If you want to spell it, the Chaos Rain channel was
Chaos. Yeah. I know you. Chaos Rain. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm kind of out right now. In a remote part of
Well, when you get a chance, Greg, I want to take next caller before we continue because I don't want nobody to hold up the line.
Oh, go ahead, man. I mean, this brother is what we need.
I'll put that on the description, Nate's new channel, and we're going to talk about your channel.
All right, appreciate that.
Yeah, all right. But let me move on to this call, Greg. All right, caller, who's this?
It's Big J here, and I got a couple of questions here.
Okay.
Now, LittleBig Nate, how can you sit and talk about Michelle Obama cheering on what's his name, Megan Thee Stallion or somebody, Maxine Waters with Megan Thee Stallion when you?
That's not Michelle Obama was not cheering out. Michelle Obama's fan was Beyonce, not that.
Oh, okay, fine. Whoever these entertainers, women, but here's the thing, LittleBig Nate, you're kind of being hypocritical because you sit there because you just mentioned homeboy, what's his name, Minister Jap. Well, isn't Minister Jap the guy who called black women German shepherds? Isn't Minister Jap though that talks about hoes? He likes to pump and dump, and yet though you was over there in Atlanta sitting right by him on that table. Right in that same room. Aren't you being a little bit
Oh my God! Is this Big J? Oh my God!
Yeah,
why are you following me around? Why are you following? Oh my God, bruh! Of course I don't want to tell you what to do with your show, bruh. But this guy loves to argue. All this guy loves to do is argue, man. Now he's followed me to your show to argue with me. Bro, I'm good, man. You take care, Big J. Later.
I gotta meet you, Big J.
I'm Chaos. Chaos. I'm telling you, all this guy does is fight, yell, and scream at people. That's all he does. His name is Big J XXX something, and that's all he does. You'll find nobody else acts like this when they call. He's the only one that's going to do that, and he follows people around to attack them. These guys are mentally ill. I swear to God, they are mentally ill.
Well, I'll say this, and I don't want to mute you, Big J, but we're trying to have a conversation. If you ask a question, you got to give time for the man to answer. Now,
I'm not going to respond to him.
Okay,
I'm not going to respond to him.
Okay,
yeah, I'm just not going to. I'm not going to deal with him.
Okay,
I'm
good.
not. I cannot deal with men that act like this.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And let you know.
Again, I'm not trying to tell you do it your show, bro.
Yeah.
It's insane trying to talk to guys like this, man. It just never works.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you, Big J. You know, it's funny. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to leave that alone. Another thing. Before I ask about the channel, have you noticed that there was a recent turn of events with Megan Good and the pastor, Mr. DeVoe? I think that's his name, Franklin DeVoe.
Yeah.
Well, I've discovered, because they're separate and they're going to be divorced very soon. I'm not sure if it's finalized. It'll probably be finalized in the coming weeks, possibly, because they have no children. Is that Megan Good now has decided, listen good, to start freezing her eggs. This woman was married. This woman was married to this man almost a decade, and now you're in the process, or if you've been doing that for the last few years, freezing your late 30-year-old ass eggs. And Mary, she just turned 40 this year. So
yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's strange. Yeah. So her husband wants children.
Yep.
Why is she freezing her eggs if her husband wants children? She doesn't want them now. You're almost 40?
No,
you know what?
She's 40 now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she is 40. Wow.
She just turned 40 this year. She was born in 1981. She got married to this man in 2012. They got engaged in 2011 when she was 31. Oh, my fault. When she was 30, and she got married at 31. You get me?
Mm.
So for almost 10 years, you and him are in a relationship, in a marriage, husband-wife, and at one time, and mind you, there was some people from the real were pressuring Franklin DeVoe and asking Megan, when are you going to have kids? And they were brushing it off. But when I think about it now, that should be nothing to brush off, because normally if you're married for this lengthy of time, only two things come to mind. Either you have a hard time having children, or you don't want no children. One or the other. And to find out that might be the reason why he divorced her, it seemed to me, bro, you wasted almost 10 years of your life. Nor your man in his early 40s, I think he's 42, that it doesn't hurt you much. But still, you wasted almost 10 years of your life dealing with a woman that did not want to have no children with you. So what she decided to do... Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
You know what's terrifying at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
You look at Megan Good's husband, you look at Jada Pinkett Smith's husband, you look at Gabrielle Union's husband, you look at Aisha Curry's husband, you look at all these wildly successful multi-millionaire men. Steph Curry makes $40 million a year. Will Smith is worth over $350 million. These men are all tall, attractive men. What in the world? You look at Sierra and Mr. Wilson, starting quarterback.
Yeah.
If these men can't make these women happy, who can make women happy? This is such an indictment. This is such an indictment on them.
I go in further, bro.
It doesn't even matter how wonderful, how successful, how handsome you are. Nothing's going to make them happy. Nothing. Go ahead.
I'll say even better. If a man that got his stuff together and he's making a lot of money, and trust me, I don't like to worship celebrities or keep an eye on what they're doing besides regular Americans that live normal lives, but a lot of people live vicariously through the celebrities, that if this black man that makes millions can't get no cooperation, submission, or whatever we want to call it to this so-called black chick, I was going to say bitch, but I'm going to keep it nice. Nothing will. Nothing will, unfortunately. And that lets you know as a man that you got to do what's best interest for yourself. You should not be pleasing no chick. Because a man always said best that a woman can never be satisfied. He's right. So you invest your time, waste your energy trying to satisfy an ungrateful chick like these women that you name. There's no hope for you, black man of America, in the 21st century. It didn't have no hope in the 20th century, and you're not going to see no hope in the first generation of the 21st century. So, like I said,
well,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, no, I want to provide a little pushback on that.
Okay, go ahead.
I think one of the streams that was on my old channel was called A New Marriage Paradigm, right?
You might have to redo that.
Yeah, I'm honestly thinking of redoing that. I got all my thumbnails, of course, and I'll just pick and choose what I want to redo when I start broadcasting from this new channel.
Yeah, and you're going to start saving them too, because some of them need to be saved just in case this happens again. You got some that is relevant that should be up. Just give you
I got some of them saved, but you're right. You're absolutely right. I'll be doing several things differently on this time around. But I said that the reason women come away unfulfilled in their marriages is because they don't understand why they were created in the first place. So, God makes man, right? Then he takes a component of man, makes woman. And woman was created to assist a man in fulfilling his obligations to God. That's why, if you read the Injil and the Gospel and the Quran, that's why women were created, to be there to assist a man in him working to fulfill his obligations to God. And how many modern-day women consider that their very reason for being here is to help a man achieve his goals? That's the reason they're never fulfilled, because they honestly don't know what they're supposed to be doing. And, you center your life around her, happy wife, happy life, all that nonsense. No, we've just been doing it wrong this whole time. And, that's something I communicate from my channel. And, I'm not planning on changing black women. One of my mantras that I would often repeat is, I want fewer ruined black women. That's what I'd like. I'd like for there to be fewer ruined black women. And the only way to accomplish that is to put out an alternative path for them than the one the left, popular culture, the Democrats, and radical leftist feminists put out for them. And then they get to pick which road they want to travel. One road leads to, functioning households and families and anniversaries and trips abroad. The other one leads to you completely devaluing yourself and ending up spending decades of your life alone. And you just let them pick, And so that's what, that's what the manosphere is supposed to do. People talk about, we're about black male empowerment, and all that's true. But also our job is to direct the footsteps of the women that want to be under our leadership. And there's a small segment of them that do, Okay. And I want to be able to maybe reach them. And again, we're not talking tens of millions of women. I may reach 2% of the women. That's 200,000, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 million. Yeah, I believe it's either 20,000 or 200,000. I gotta get my calculator out. But either way, that's a large group of women we can begin the process of rebuilding with. So I just wanted to present that. I don't think it's hopeless. I think we can genuinely create whatever reality we want to. We just have to take the initiative, man.
I truly believe that. I truly agree with that. Before I take the next caller, hold on. I'm just looking at the chat room on the other side of things. Let me look what's going on. There's a lot of comments. Let me read some so you get familiar, because I don't want to keep things a secret. It says here, one MJ. Hey, what's good, MJ? She's laughing out loud. She's enjoying this, I guess. Hold on. Let me go up. I gotta see where to go. Okay. Here, one person, Big J, says, I get no respect. Then he goes again, this showed that the black master is scared of me. I don't know why he says that. The next question asked to me, Chaos, you got punked out as the moderator. You should have heard the validity of the question. No, I don't. There's laughing emojis. The other one, Big J responds, BGS Igmore came at me early this week. Surprised that. Then he responds again, someone called Tyrone and whoever. And then he asked again, asked them to call in since I got hung up again. Some of these questions
I don't know what to tell you, then.
Bro, and here's MJ now. I'm just seeing laughing emojis throughout the comment section of this chat room. I want to hear Gary's show to see if he really I don't know why people ask me that. I tell people many times, I'm a neutral man. You get me? When I first started this podcast years ago, I have not known nothing about Master until late 2018, early 2019, the time when you came around. You get me? So, and mind you, they create a broadcast on themselves to bring attention. So that's another story. Let's go down. MJ Bullish. Gary has always been following. Okay. Wow, they really have no idea. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Not today. I ain't buying it. Then Big J responds, I don't attack women as whole. Well, Big J, back then you did say things about women. Well, that's it. I'm not going more for the chat room. Let me open next line because somebody else raised their hand. Let me see who this is. Caller, open your line. Who's this?
Yeah, hey, Gary, Solution here. Look here,
okay,
restate your question so I'll have it exactly. And hi to your guest.
Well, there was no
question.
Sir. I was reading.
Well, yeah, you see. Okay, I'm sorry. You said basically, why can't a man please a woman? Was that your question?
That was not a question. I've been hearing the statement, and I agree with it that you can't satisfy a woman in any category, rather good or bad. A woman is always constantly not satisfied. I don't know if you agree with that, Mr. Solutions. And Big D,
Now, let me give an answer, Gary. I'm going to give an answer that is the best answer that is practically possible. You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. There are no damn consequences for female behavior in first world society. No consequences. In dating, in marriage. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, go on. I agree. Continue.
Okay. In dating, in marriage, in divorce, everything is skewed toward her in the vast majority of the cases, and therefore ABC and I have this particular run-in. We talk about babies being born. You can't force a woman under the law to have a child, but if she has a child, she can turn around and force the man to pay for it. So he can't get a financial abortion. She can get both a financial abortion and an actual abortion. My point is simply this. There are no fucking consequences for female behavior vis-a-vis male involvement. Whenever there's a man involved, our whole society looks for any fucking reason possible to let the woman escape any consequences and make sure that all the consequences are on the part of the man. That is the crux of the problem.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Solution, I wouldn't mind if you tone down the language a little bit. I'm saying. I'm trying.
Okay.
I called you.
Okay, but I'm just speaking with passion. That's the problem, Gary.
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah.
That's the problem. I know. Okay, let me just say, we can't find our asses with both hands. That's the problem.
Yeah, we know.
If I could have.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
just, I can hear the frustration in his voice. I I divorced my ex-wife in 2004, and I fought for and was awarded full custody. You know, I'm owed over $60K in arrears. The ex-wife never paid me for child support. So, you know, I understand things coming from both sides of the spectrum. But all we can do as men is say that this whole new marriage paradigm thing, we lay out how marriage needs to be centered around the man, around what our desires, what our objectives are. And women will have the benefits of marriage after qualifying for these types of men. Marriage, again, needs to be completely centered on us, what we want. And if we could do that and only deal with the women that understand that and who are going to qualify themselves, we could begin the process of pulling out of this. But any woman that wants to continue to embrace black female American culture and leftist ideology, man, it's over. We're done arguing. We're not going to fight. There's no negotiating with terrorists. Just let these women go. They will be part of the tens of millions of women that will be roaming the countryside in the next 30 to 40 years with no one to take care of them. Just let them go. And we'll only from this point on, you know, and we just need to reinforce this idea, we are only going to deal with the women that want to play by the rules that we've laid down. That's it. You won't guilt us into protecting you. You won't guilt us into doing anything for you. You're going to learn how to act. You're going to qualify yourself for proper men. Proper men are going to get the acknowledgement they deserve. You want to spend your life opening your legs for the worst men? Those will be the men you're stuck with. And there'll be no complaining, none of that shit. We don't care. And we just have to pump this message out, you know? And you know, people talk about hopium and stuff. As long as there's life, you know, there's hope. And I honestly believe we can begin the process of changing all of this around. Again, it's not going to happen necessarily in the courts. It will be a cultural thing that we have to enact. It's going to be almost 100% cultural. You look at the communities that still have intact marriages, it's the societies that have a tremendous amount of cultural pressure on the women and their behavior. The Middle East, you know, the Amish, the Sikh community. There's so much cultural pressure on those women to conduct themselves properly, paying penalties up to and including death. It's just real, you know. And as we rebuild our society, we need to enact those types of cultural pressures ourselves, for real. And it's not going to be something that's widely embraced. It doesn't need to be. We just have to get busy laying out the plan. And any woman that wants the benefits of dealing with competent, productive, family-oriented men, they'll either get in line or they'll perish. It's up to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, hope that answered your question, Mr. Solution. I have somebody else raise their hand. I guess he's not there. Okay. Let me see what else.
Oh, are you young? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But, before I give him the call number one more time for those that's listening, the call number for tonight's show is 717-908-1834. Access code 917-324-pound. I repeat, 717-908-1834. Access code 917-324-pound. Tonight's show, Chaos Reign presents the Little Big Nate Show. Next caller. All right, caller. Who's this?
Again, why didn't you answer my question about your?
Wait, come on, Big J, man. We're not gonna do this. He said he's not gonna answer you. So I told
you he's mentally ill, dog.
Oh God! If you have a question, Big J, put it in the chat room, and I might read it. I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? But he's not gonna answer your question on the phone because, as proof evident, LittleBigNate has dealt with you already, and you're not really stable. He feels he can't have a cultured conversation with you.
Mm-mm.
Let me see who this is. Let's bring up you, Big J. I'm gonna hang up. Hello? Who this? Caller.
Gary, my phone went out. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. What the gentleman said, and I forget his name, you can recite it so I can hear it if you will. But what he said, I heard most of what he said, and what he said was accurate. I was more frustrated at you, Gary, than I'm frustrated at the issue that you asked the question the way you did. But he answered it. He's right. There are no consequences, and that's what he was saying.
Oh, I never answered the question. Hold on, stop right there. I'll give you my answer. You don't. And let me tell you why. Because this is a Western culture, first world nation, then separate from the third world countries we're in that we see or we know or we ever travel to. Here, women get all the glory and possibly no consequence for now. So when you hear them talk in their plights and their complaints, it's just women's stuff. They complain about everything. Hell, if the light is not good, they can complain about that. If the bedroom is not proper, they'll complain about that. Hell, if you're not blowing their back out right, they're going to complain about that. So at the end of the day, if you must understand and notice well, Ms. Solution, a woman cannot be satisfied. It is what it is. And living in
wait a
America,
minute. Let me respond to that, if I may.
Okay, go ahead.
No. They can be No. You're dead wrong about what you said. They can be satisfied. It's just like children. You know, we teach children limits. We draw a circle. We draw lines.
So what limits are you going to give women, Ms. Solution?
Okay, you're damn right. Number one, if you have a child out of wedlock, it's your baby, period. Okay? You pay for it. Number two, in dating, you've got to ask for dates. You can't just expect the man to deliver everything to you on a platter. In other words, you've got to do more work. You've got to do more earning what you get vis-a-vis a man than just expecting it to be given to you. And I'm talking about all women. Now, you can break it out however you choose, but all women in America act pretty much the same way. The vast majority in America, because we have a similar culture. We all speak English or somewhat of a form thereof. And so women act the same throughout America because they know the culture of America. That's the point. So they need to be held accountable and need to have to earn what they get. You have this dummy Tyrone, and I don't mean to call him a dummy in a bad way, but he is a dummy. He expects a man to just pay for stray and strange women. Now, you got a man, although he wouldn't do it, but he's saying other men should do it. So what we're saying to women is you don't have to earn anything from men. It should just be granted to you. And that's the thing of no consequences, no work, no skin in the game, if you please. That's my point. Capiche?
Well, like I said again, that sounds good in rhetoric and possibly on paper, but as long as we all live in America, and it's constructed for one thing and one only, capitalism. They give women a sense of illusion of power because it fuels the capitalists. Women spend more money than men. That's why they'll get maybe jobs that men normally could do. They'll get it, depending on the profession, first, because they know they can get that same labor for less than pennies out the dollar because they're going to put it right back in the system. Same thing with everything else they do when they buy things that are relevant in their lives. So it makes sense to empower women to a degree because the more you empower them, the more they're going to put back to the economy, which is run by other groups of men and men behind closed doors, which we're not going to go into tonight.
But Gary, let me ask you: are you holding up the white flag of surrender? Is that what that is? I'm not clear.
Well, let's be honest. Since we want to go there, have you even started fighting yet?
You damn right, and that's a very, very appropriate question. What I do, now I was dating before COVID, but when I date a woman, she doesn't deserve dinner. I take her to a coffee shop, or I invite her to a coffee shop. She brings herself there. And now, see, you're laughing, Gary, God damn it.
Go, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Why are you laughing?
Go ahead. We listen. Go ahead.
not women that are the major problem. It's actually men. So what I'm saying,
so we know that already, Mr. Solution.
Gary, listen, I'm yelling a little bit, but I want you to tell me what's the problem, and I'm going to finish up in about 30 seconds. Look, when I invite a woman out, all I have for her on the table is a glass of water and a napkin. She can have either water with ice or plain water. Those are her options. I first meet her. I don't know her. I don't owe her shit. But and we generally have a great conversation. Now, we may not make a connection for various reasons, but I'm just saying, and it was pointed out that a lot of women are psychotic and they're narcissistic. They use men for meal dates. They have no interest in the man whatsoever. So that's number one, and that's where we have to meet. We have to meet in a dating arrangement. So that's what I'm saying to you. Now, you laugh at that, Gary. Tell me why the hell you're laughing at that.
The reason why I laugh at that, and let me ask you another question. When you do this, the whole end game is to get into the draws, correct? Doing this, correct?
Now, I'm not going to say that, but yeah, ultimately men date to have sex. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Well, if it has worked for you, brother, I have no gripes. Good. But as we look at men as a whole, because there's more simps than actual men that's real, like, you know, man, red pill, wherever you want to label the men that operate differently, there's more simps than the opposite. So I would say to any man that goes that route, good luck. Now, I have to take the next caller.
But wait a minute, Gary. Hold on, sir. Before you go further, wait a minute. I'm not just going out on a first.
I have to take this caller. Raise your hand. Take this caller. Who's this?
Hello?
Hello?
I have a question I need to ask.
Big J, don't bullshit. Big J, I'm going to mute you. Don't play with me, brother. That sounds like a fucking female. And that sounds pretty much like you. Do not play with me, Big J. You have 5 seconds to reveal yourself. I'm going to hit the mute. 5, 4, 3.
Well then. Here's the thing. Then if women are ratchet, as you say,
I'm not going to talk to her.
That's. I just want to reveal myself.
I didn't. I've warned you guys. These guys are mentally ill. They just are. Can I say something?
Yeah,
real quick. I want to say something.
Go ahead.
You know, during the 50s and 60s, like when a woman was walking down the street, they had commercials, and I'm going to do a stream on this, where if a woman walks down the street and she came across a hole with water in it or some type of thing that was obstructing her freedom to walk, a man would come and lay his suit jacket over that to allow the woman to walk over it. Now, anybody that knows anything about sport coats, it's the most expensive part of your outfit, you know?
Yeah.
Oftentimes. And a man was supposed to lay his jacket over a puddle so a woman could safely walk across it. Men, you know, it was a sign of, you know, proper gentlemanlike behavior to give a woman a bouquet of roses. And, you know, we saw what that black woman did when she got that bouquet of roses. You know the video I'm talking about, right, Kay?
I think I remember what you're talking about.
The video where the woman is a black woman. She was given a beautiful bouquet of pink roses, probably $40-50 easy. And she sat there belittling the man that gave them to her, talking about how he could have given her a vase and could have bought her water. Why didn't he step up? These women take your kindness and your gentlemanlike behavior, and they use it against you today. You know, I've said about that woman, I said that woman, if she would have gone on the internet and said, oh, my God, this is such a beautiful bouquet of flowers. You know, it made my day. You know, I so appreciated this from this guy at work. And, I look forward to going out with him pretty soon. She could have got 100 women bought roses that next week easily. But now what she did, she's going to make it so that 1,000 men never buy roses again for women. These women, they're putting their own, the way they display their dysfunction, man. And whether they want to admit it or not, it's having an effect, because all I see on the internet are like videos being made with all these TikTok videos of women. How come I don't have a man? Why don't I have a boyfriend? Many of these women are attractive women and can't find anybody because they've been out, ripping and running, cock hopping, from dude to dude, and now they're ran-throughs and they're in their 30s and nobody wants them. The only way to come out of this is for women to acknowledge the importance of men and listening to proper men. If these women don't want to listen to the men with the wins, the tangible evidence of their success, I honestly don't know. And most women are not going to listen. And we just have to be prepared, including how many of us had mothers who didn't listen? How many of us have sisters and aunts who didn't listen to anybody? And now, they fill these convalescent homes. It's going to get ugly. If you are an enterprising young man, find out some way to be an intermediary between a bunch of old women and the federal government. You'll make so much money. These women are going to need food. They're going to need delivery of their medicine. They're going to need transportation to the doctors. They're going to need security. They're going to need so much. And, hopefully the federal government will be there for them. I know nobody else is. But to the women who understand how grave the situation is and went and got themselves a husband and work with that man to build a future, salute to you, lady.
Yeah, salute to them. And I've noticed Mr. Triple X, I'm not sure if he started a stream. I hope not. And he's lucky he has a wrench here. Surprising because, I don't know if anybody's going to go over there and watch this. But like I said, Big J, you're cool at times, bro, but you got some issues, bro. I mean, I know that you come listen to my show sometimes, and I have unique guests, some that deals with talk points that either deals with the black man or men or women, or like I say, black men talking points, issues when we focus on the men, or issues we focus on women. And I'll be honest with you, and I'll tell you a little secret, LittleBig Nate. He only comes around when I'm dealing with, and I'm talking about the opposite sex. That's the only time he pops up. And I know he was not like this 2 years ago, much as a year and a half ago. Now, I'm not sure what his end game is going this direction now, to be fair and honest, because you're not getting no traction going the opposite side.
Bro, the guys these guys hate me for no reason. I've never said anything to this guy. He's taking jabs at me. I tell him, look, leave me alone. I don't want to deal with you. These guys are obsessed. There's a couple of dudes in the Manosphere that are absolutely obsessed with me. They are mentally ill, dude, and I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to let it anywhere around me, man. Just go be the hateful nightmare nigga that you were raised to be. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, man. Just find your own path, man. If he doesn't agree, he doesn't agree. It's as simple. We could agree, disagree, but keep it respectful at the end of the day, And I know that's the problem with a lot of black men, that we could improve, that we could have disagreements and still be men and operate as men with disagreements. That's why if you look at issue with the I forgot the name of the stream that had to be taken out because YouTube took the whole channel out because somebody porn bombed it, right? That YouTube's not playing with black men now on YouTube. If you're making money on here, they're gonna find any excuse to take your channel down. They're not gonna probably give no warnings. And I could see in the forward-seeking future, they're gonna take down a lot of smaller content that's not over 500K or greater, in my opinion. And it's going to be hard for y'all to make money on here if y'all going that type of route, especially talking what is being talked about. You know what I'm saying? And even combating certain other people that have disagreements. So if you're a content creator and you go do YouTube, keep your head on also, and keep your content as forward as possible and respectful. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have crazy people on here. And now I'm not talking about just the black ones. I'm talking about all groups of men. All groups of men, I'm tell you a little secret, LittleBig Nate. They're watching the so-called Black Manosphere space, and they're not liking it. I'm giving a heads up right now. Because black men right now are being very effective with the message than them. You get me?
Yeah, they don't want leftist media leads everybody to believe that all black men are in favor of BLM. We all think like Sharpton and Roland Martin, when nothing could be further from the truth. Most black men, well, I can't say most, but the most effective black men, the most competent black men are doing everything they can to get away from the left, not to run into the hands of the Republican Party. That's not salvation either. But I just ask black men to write a list of your 10 most important issues and see which platform has a belief system that coincides with your beliefs the most. And I can't imagine anything that they would say over on the left that's gonna have you excited about voting for them. Yeah, I don't want to turn this into purely a political conversation, but man, letting children pick their own genders, and boys can be princesses too, and convicted pedophile, trans story time. All this sick shit comes out of the left, all of it. And there's simply no place for me in a party that does that, and that'll call for that stuff. There's nothing over there for me. But
yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, I'm still winding down, but before I do, I want to get through a few questions that came to head. I'm not sure if you covered this, but I've heard with Stephen Curry and Aisha Curry, you said earlier, that I'm hearing now about some open marriage. And last time I checked, I don't think they agreed to no open marriage. I'm hearing rumor that the wife is bringing up she wants an open marriage. I'm not sure how true that is. I'm not sure how much you know about that. Your take on that?
Again, there's been no confirmation of it, so I don't want to pass judgment on Miss Curry, but I mean, she has talked about not getting the attention her husband gets, which is ridiculous. The man is your biggest cheerleader. Every time he does an interview, he's talking about his wife. She's twerked in the kitchen. She appeared naked in a photo shoot. Again, this woman has what women claim they want: a highly successful, productive, world-renowned expert in his field of endeavor. And as far as we can tell, he adores her. And it's still not enough. Allegedly. Allegedly. We don't know if it's true. If it is, it just speaks, again, men need to be mindful of this, and also be mindful that there is a small percentage of women that will be worthy of any consideration past, just an intimate sexual encounters. That's about it. Most women, that's all they're going to be good for you. And marriage and family and building a legacy, there's only a few women out there worthy of doing that with. And you got to find them early. You really got to find them early. And, again, I'm encouraging those women to separate from what black women have become and start to, coalesce around some type of large personality like a Crimson Cure or someone else, and begin to build a movement of, the Future Wives Club or something. You're going to have to give, in particular, black men something, because it's pretty bleak out here, man. As far as the image of the ABW, it's really bad. It's so much worse than what the black man's image was just 30, 35 years ago. It is terrible. And they can get angry and they can point at us and call us names, and all that's fine. But nothing you say is going to negate how bad things have become. And, again, there's only one way out of this, and that's listening to proper men. The only men that have a vested interest in how you turn out. Why would we ever tell you anything to your detriment? Why would we do that? You know? So we'll see who decides to listen and who doesn't.
Well, my take is, with those have ears to listen, they will hear. And those that don't want to hear, let it go one ear and out the other, are the ones that's going to be left behind. That's how I see it. Now, for the last two questions I have to lay out. You say you were once married and you fought custody for your children. That was like 17 years ago, am I right? Back in 2004, correct?
2004, yes, sir.
Yeah, 17 years. Okay. And was that a tricky battle back then in the early 2000s to fight for custody of the kids?
I'll be honest with you, it really wasn't. You know, I had gone into court prepared. I knew it was going to be a battle. I had amassed a lot of the information that I needed about things that she was doing. I treated her like my enemy. And see, one of the biggest problems with men, when the relationship's over, men are preoccupied with being fair. You know, men are preoccupied with being nice, and well, I don't want to put her out, or I don't want her to have to go through blah blah blah. These women look at you as an adversary, and they treat you like an adversary. And you go into court with your tie disheveled and your shirt hanging out, and you're not prepared, man. No. If it's over, you should make the first step towards custody. First, you should be married. Let me tell you, being married made me getting custody so much easier. It really did. As a matter of fact, if you know the relationship is on the rocks and you got, a couple of children, I would go ahead and marry her. I'm dead serious. Just as a strategic move, I'm dead serious. I would go ahead and marry her and give it a year. If things still aren't good, you file for divorce. You file for full custody. You. And
wait.
This is how men have to start thinking. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me do this. I like that. That's a well-thought-out strategy. And, for a lot of black men said they don't want to take the risk in marriage and all that nonsense. I would say, personally, if you're going to have children with this woman, that it is by choice, whatever, it is for your own safety to take the initiative to file for divorce and go through the procedures like everybody else. And let's be honest, LittleBig Nate, a lot of men shown they don't want nothing to do with marriage. And I say that's cool, but if you're going to have kids in this country, bastardized kids, you put yourself at great risk. One, you have no control or say your kids because you're not in no union, you have no contract with her. And two, you're going to be paying out on child support either if you file or put yourself on child support already. The state does not respect no one that doesn't have their priorities in check. Once the judge sees that you're making an initial move, he knows that you got your stuff in order.
You set a very important precedent when you come to court and you're asking for full custody. The worst case scenario, you'll end up with 50-50, which is where a lot of guys want to be.
Exactly.
It reduces your the payments you'll have to make to her, and most guys end up having the children. I mean, these women. And I'm not saying this is true about all females, but a lot of these women don't even want these children. They just don't. They honestly don't, man. They half the time the children are with the grandmother. I've heard stories. I know stories about people just dropping their children off with coworkers that they just met 2 weeks ago. They'll drop their babies off anywhere. There was a black woman, I can't recall the city. It might have been Atlanta, where her friend was entrusted to drop off her 5-year-old son. There's this black woman, her best friend, was dropping off her 5-year-old son to her father's house. Right? And the house that she dropped the child off at had one of those cameras on the bell. Well, the woman, she was dragging the child by one arm. She had a halter top on, tight jeans. She had somewhere to go be. Had her wig. She was fly as hell. Drops the 5-year-old boy off, runs back to her car, drives off. Only problem is, it was the wrong house. The boy was dropped off. His father's house was 2 houses down. And the story made the news, and the woman is on TV. She's all dressed up like a schoolgirl now, and she's crying, and the mom is saying, well, don't be angry at my friend. She just made a simple mistake. This boy, so many horrible things could happen to this 5-year-old boy because this woman did not give a shit. And unfortunately, a lot of them don't, man. And if anything's going to change for the better, it's in the hands of men to make those things happen, though. It just is.
I heard such wicked stories in my lifetime, but that bites the dust right there, where your priorities are more of getting some random cock and some fun than raising your goddamn children, especially your boys, which I find now a lot of sisters have a disdainful hate for a lot of black boys. Hell, you hear some of the content creators made a conscious mission or, statements that these boys should not be in existence, if you get what I'm saying. You get me? So it lets me know saying...
Well, yeah, she did a show that said, if killing black boys isn't the answer, what is? That is literally the title of her show. Yeah. Now, she took that down, I believe, but, yeah, this is why black men should not worry about any of the things that black women want to complain about. The only black women that get any type of consideration are the ones who want to be under proper men's leadership. All the rest of these black women, they can do whatever they want. God bless them.
To give a note, there's no show that's been taken out. Usually shows that's put up through media, like a YouTube, they're always unlisted. Do some research on that a little bit. I'll tell you what that is.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So now my final last question to wrap up this glorious night. The LittleBig Nate channel, the history of it. You started a second channel. So what happened to the very first channel? Since you created a new channel.
Well, I don't know what happened yet to it. I was dealing with 2 strikes. YouTube, I swear to God, YouTube struck me for a show called Are Voter ID Laws Racist? They struck me. I swear to God, they took my channel down for a week. That was my first strike. Because I did a stream stating that black people have the intellectual capacity to get a picture ID and vote. And they accused me of spreading misinformation. I appealed it. They said, no, it stands. Which means they had it out for me, dog. They had it out for me. How do you strike that? And the second strike was for alleged cyberbullying of D. Durrell. After he did several streams attacking me. He was on Reg Today attacking me. These effeminate homosexuals. And they run their mouths. I popped on Reg's, and he was talking shit about me there. These mentally ill black males can't keep me out of their mouth. It's really disgusting. And it makes me uncomfortable, you fellas, okay? So, the channel coming down was a blessing. And let me tell you why. Because that channel would have never gotten monetized, ever. Because they had it in for me. They were messing with my numbers. They wouldn't put out my thumbnails. They just wouldn't. The channel got somebody's ire. and they're watching it, and they made it impossible, for me to do anything. This channel, it's been out for 2 days. It already has over 300 subscribers. Okay. And by the end of February, I'll have my 2,400 subscribers back. No problem. The new channel, again, is Nate Dogg 74. Please go subscribe. It's very important. When I get my first 500 subscribers, I'll start streaming again. And, we'll get it popping again. This time, I'll learn from my mistakes. And monetization will be absolutely necessary on this channel. And I'll get it. And we'll handle the more controversial issues, in a more piecemeal way. I definitely won't make the same mistakes as before. But I'm actually happy because I actually get an opportunity to have a monetized channel now. So
yeah,
it's actually going to work for my benefit.
And you do deserve monetization because people are watching what you have to offer. You could be harsh sometimes, but it's all in love. And be fair, honest. Doing certain content is not going to be favorable for everybody, and you should know that. LittleBig Nate. I mean, trust me, I've seen and watched a lot of content creators that have come and eventually gone. But the ones that have really survived over the decades, especially on YouTube, I give them the thanks and praise because it's hard for me to keep losing the channel and redoing it again. But I always deal with the solution side of things, and I forgot to lay this out on my 4th live stream video, which y'all should check out. It's called Trolls. What Are They? Volume 4. I gave some gems and jewels that you should watch and examine on how to deal with certain trolls moving forward in regards to having them on your channels or your call queues. I gave some simple solutions, some that simple a person could do now for those that have subscribers that's 5K and greater. And the reason why I do this because I like to educate as well. I just don't do this content. If I see some, I will give a simple solution. Because let's be honest, LittleBig Nate, if I Google how to deal with trolls on YouTube, I'll be lucky to find certain things that give tangible solutions to anybody. I think I'm the only content creator right now in YouTube that has gave 4 videos now on it. And they're simple. And they're not that lengthy. Last time I checked. And if you can't go through that and apply it, then I have no answer for you, buddy. You're just going to have to sit there and just alpha your way through YouTube and take the risk, especially if you're a content creator that's very controversial to other people that don't like your message or don't like you. And trust me, nothing's wrong with haters. I want people to understand this. Cat Williams say best. If you got 1 or 2 haters, you want to work hard to get the next hater because that fuels you. That drives you, that you're doing something right. As much as I don't want to say that, but that is what it is. Go ahead.
If you don't like content, why don't you just go listen to somebody else? There's millions of channels. That's what I've never understood. Why do grown men hate listen to somebody? It's another sign of that mental illness, man. If you don't like me, fine. What are you listening to me for? Why are you on my channel? Just go away. Go live your life. Nobody's talking about you. Nobody's concerned about you. Go live your life. God bless you. I'm going to live mine, And but this is what happens when men are raised by their mothers. They are their mother's sons. Yes, they are. But yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Yeah, and one thing about, you said Reg's the bad guy. I've checked this man's channel for the last year or so, and I'll be honest with you, Mr. Bad Guy has not grown much at all. Because
no. Time out.
Yeah.
Reg didn't do anything wrong. Reg was just sitting there listening to D. Durrell run his mouth. And then when I came in the chat, D. Durrell changed the story. Reg has never disrespected me. No. Reg is cool, man. Reg is good people.
All right.
It's just, D. Durrell can't keep my name out of his mouth. These guys are mentally ill, dog. I'm telling you. And he was on there laughing about my channel being taken down. Well, it's okay.
Yeah,
I got something special for him.
We should not be laughing at other black men, regardless if we agree or not, that their channel's taken away.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I got
to be
something
fair,
special.
honest. Yeah, and to be honest, I don't make fun. Either if I hate you, I still want you to still do what you're doing because you have a voice, you have opinion. This is America. This is a freedom of speech. You get me? And one thing is obvious. My only issue, because me and Charles, I was listening to his channel, and he dealt with one particular troll that likes to dox people. I'm not give his name, and he went and confronted the man head on and asked him some questions, and he laid out all his plan and was his intentions on the space on YouTube, you know. And let's be honest, he don't think he feels what he's doing is wrong because he's not getting slapped with a criminal charge. But I tell most people now, as YouTube tightens up, all that goofy stuff that people doing, that's going to soon be in the past. Because this is a business. And a lot of us don't treat this as a business. That's why when people decide to make content on YouTube, you always got to keep in the back of your head, this is a business. And you have to act and conduct yourself like this is like any business. You want people to come in, view, spend money, etc. If you're not doing that, then I have no answer for you. I see somebody call in. Let me see who this is. This is the last caller today.
Sure.
Caller, who's this? I can't hear you. Speak up.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, you sound clear. It sounds like Big Will. What's good, Big Will? You're my last caller. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm just tuning in, and I've heard this name before, but I never heard this person speak before.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you said he's part of the Manosphere.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so I'd just like to hear from the horse's mouth. No judgment free right now. But what is the purpose of the Manosphere? What's their whole ideology or mindset, if you don't mind?
I guess that's the question. Can you hear that, LittleBig Nate, or you want him to rephrase the question?
Say it again. Say the question again, please.
What is the whole mindset or the purpose of the whole Manosphere? Because I hear things, but like I said, I've never heard anything from the Manosphere. So what is the mindset or the ideology or the purpose of the Manosphere?
Sure. I can't speak for the entire Manosphere. There are some red pill principles that undergird what most of the men in the space believe. You know, they believe in patriarchy. They believe that society has been conditioned to give women a really unfair advantage over what happens in family life, what happens in employment. Again, I can't speak for everybody as part of the Black Manosphere or the larger Manosphere. But, again, I just think those red pill principles is what you'll find connects most men. It's kind of like living in the United States on the conservative side of the aisle. You know, as long as you believe in the Constitution, that's kind of what binds conservatives together. And in the Manosphere, it's kind of red pill beliefs that kind of connect. But I wouldn't let anybody tell you what the entire Manosphere stands for. But most of the people you ask will say for basically an MRA, a men's rights organization, and trying to put society back into a sense of order. You know, when society's arguing over how many genders there are, things have really gotten out of hand. And when little children are being encouraged to pick their own gender and not to lay claim, you know, the parents shouldn't be allowed to lay claim to what the child's gender is when it's born. And a whole host of other horrible things that are going on. Somebody's got to stand up against that, you know. When convicted pedophiles are being encouraged to read story time at the local library and stuff, our society is completely out of hand. And if these men do nothing but just stand up and speak against this madness, I just appreciate that. But you know, it means different things to different people. You know, a lot of men have found, you know, found it to be therapeutic. You know, a lot of us grow up as black men without anybody to consult on anything because we didn't have fathers. And being stuck as a young man trying to figure out the answers to these really difficult questions, it's real easy to end up on the wrong side of things. And here's where you can find men who have been through these things. I've been through a divorce, custody. A lot of brothers have, you know. You can find information on, you know, careers, information on, you know, how to deal with women moving forward because so many of us are raised as simps, and we just are, especially if you're in the 40s and up club like I am. You know, there's things, the first time I heard the phrase men first was in the Manosphere, you know, and it's helped me tremendously, you know. But that's my answer.
Okay, my bad. So is it Manosphere or Black Manosphere? That's black men or all men?
Well, there's a larger Manosphere, you know, guys like Undead Chronic, 33 Secrets. There's a lot of guys. And from what I understand, I'm no expert on the chronological history, but from what I understand, about 7-8 years ago, black men broke off and decided to make their own community because some of our unique issues weren't being addressed. So, you know, that's what the Black Manosphere stands for. As far as I know, that's the community I've been a part of now for about 4 to 5 years. So, and you know, I'm sure a lot of the issues overlap with the larger Manosphere. But you know, with my limited knowledge, and it is limited to be honest with you, that's how I would answer that question.
All right, Big O, that's pretty much it. Thank you for answering the question. Normally, I never ask anybody that's either no Manosphere or whatever the real definition per se. I think tonight, LittleBig Nate, you gave a more concise answer to that question. You know, because you know I can go all day and research the Manosphere, black or white, and you know both spheres have different ideologies and move differently. You know, so I don't really invest too much time and energy in it. But I know one thing, that men do need their own space just to vent and deal with small issues. And let's be honest, I'm going to tell most men, including black men, that if you have certain issues and your shortcomings in life, you might see you need some therapy. God knows the guy that did the thing he did to his girlfriend and his wife, which y'all know who I'm talking about, is a testament that as smart as he is, he needs actual help. And he doesn't have certain circles or friends that he could depend on or trust, which that is his business, that if he had that, I guarantee he would not have done what he done.
I couldn't agree with you more, dog. Couldn't agree with you more.
Because let's be honest, a man will snap if everything else fails, and he needs somebody to talk to so that way he don't go over to the edge. And when I watched that less than 2-minute video, it's proven evident that he had no support, no actual male support. And this is the danger for a lot of men. If you're going to function in this Western world, this first world nation, under this so-called feminist gynocracy, what you want to call it, you put yourself at risk of mental illness, hypertension, and potential suicide, if not careful. So that's the only thing I'm going to lay out. Get the help, brother.
But Chaos, did you know that one of my last streams on my old channel, I did a stream. Do you know that in a month and a half, there were 2 other murder-suicides in that county?
I did not know that.
2 more black men. One man had murdered his girlfriend and his 2 daughters and then killed himself. Another man had killed his estranged wife and himself, all in less than 2 months.
Wow.
I did a whole show on it. Yeah, dog. Yeah. This, you know, Osama Abdu, who's a gentleman that frequents my channel, He said, man, because he lives in that area. He said, man, if I could have met this guy and told him about the Manosphere, man, this space could have literally saved his life and saved those women's lives.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that he would have found some brothers who could help walk him through this problem. Man, when you feel you're alone and you got your ex-wife accusing you of sexually assaulting your children, dude, this guy had been put through the ringer. And, you know, never think that it can't be you. We all have limits. Thankfully, you know, there won't be situations that get us anywhere close to them. But these women need to learn. You like to use the courts and, you know, police to harm these men that you don't even want to be in relationships with anymore. You're putting yourself at risk. There's only so much. A man can put a gun in his mouth and end it. It's no problem. You know why women don't commit suicide? Because they're vain, and they're not going to make a mess of themselves. 80% of suicides are done by men.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't use the courts to destroy men, because if you're going to destroy my life, why not take yours with me? Honestly. Don't ever put a man in that position.
Yeah, I mean, it's depressing, and I see people respond in the chat room. One, Big J said, "Oh my God," and he said, "Really? Yeah, it's true, Big J. I didn't know about that, and I missed that stream. I did tune in to that stream you did with that late. If I had tuned in early and gone back to the replay, I would have known that." And Miss Monica Lamb said, "My, yes, Monica, yeah, man. I think something about PG County or wherever that part of the DMV area is very fickle, very strange. I'm not going to talk about it.
But the thing I wanted to press is, I know, you know, whenever I used to hear on the news on TV that there was a murder-suicide, I could automatically say, oh, yeah, that was some white dude probably.
Yeah,
now
that's what
you
I
can't
come to
say that.
Can't say that.
Yeah. You know, there are crimes you hear that you kind of attribute it, you know, somebody knocked over a liquor store, chances are it was one of us. Murder-suicide, you always think, oh, it's probably some white dude. Not anymore, man. You got brothers committing murder-suicides. And this is just, it's not something that was ever attributed to us before, ever. And now we have 3 in the same county in less than 2 months. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. My only saying to that is, this is the effects, this is the poisons that Marcus did predicted will happen to our people if we remain in this Western culture, which i.e. is Western civilization. He didn't say that most black people should leave this country en masse, but he said that if you're not careful, you will die under this culture, what he called Western culture. And these are the venomous poisons that's in the veins of a lot of black people today that is really, what's the word? Poison, which lets the body in a state of stagnation and death. A very slow and painful death. So, like I said, there's a lot of work need to be done with black people, and the only salvation I see moving forward is going to take a person, whether you're a male, female, to get the help. Is your rightful duty. I wish there were more systems and more programs or spaces here not to make you wallow in your misery, but to actually help you, because wallowing in your misery is not going to help you. You need some actual help. And there are people that are in the profession. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll let y'all figure it out. Any closing remarks, LittleBig Nate?
No, just please go ahead and subscribe to the new channel. Again, Nate Dog 74, capital NATE, capital DOGG 74. It's all one word. And help me get to 500 subscribers, and I'll start broadcasting and streaming again. Y'all are gonna absolutely love it. Chaos will tell you about it.
Oh yeah, I follow it too. You know, and I'm hoping when you start streaming in a few days at best, because I know you're going to get to 500 very soon. Hey, one question. When you start streaming back in March, early of March of 2021,
yes.
Did you have 500 subscribers or you had less than that? Last time I checked.
I had 300. I started, people were excited, so I got about 300 people. I think I had about 300 people when I started streaming.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just want to get to 500. It's just a number that's in my head. That's all.
Okay.
But I want to get that 500, and I'll start pumping out content in a little bit different way this time. And because again, I learn from my mistakes. I do.
Okay. It looks like we're going to have another interruption on the Bernard Riley stream of you very soon before you reach 500.
Yes, we'll. I'm in talks with Bernard, and I don't like talking too much about what I got going on behind the scenes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
But I think, like I said, just subscribe to his channel and keep it push, people. Wait, let me see. Who just raised their hand? Let me check this. Hello? Who raised their hand? Who's this?
Hey, Gary. Me again, Mr. Solution. Hey, your guest is very good. He has a very measured and metered tone and expressions. I've learned a lot from him. I think he's a great representative. And I'll check out his show when it's up again. So
okay.
I think it's been a good conversation.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
like
you're
always,
very welcome.
Mr. Solution, I like when you...
Gary, I want to talk to you once the guest has left, if you're still on.
Is it something important, brother?
Well, I just wanted to talk with you a little bit. It's about modeling and what should be done with respect to relationships and dating. I know we tend to talk around it a lot.
We could talk about it.
We really don't have a model for dating.
Okay.
And I don't agree with you that sex is the most important thing on a date. I think it's getting to know the person.
Mr. Solution, all right, just sit back and hold tight. We'll
dialogue
on it. All right, thank you. All right, LittleBig Nate, we came through again at the buzzer, like always. I got to give you this. 21 gun salute. And another wonderful guest of mine to end the year off nice and strong. As you know, I do this sometimes with certain guests if I can to end the year off good. I think you did me a great favor in doing so, And we gotta do this again soon.
It's my pleasure.
We're gonna definitely do this again soon. Once you get to 2 to 5K, I project the LittleBig Nate channel is gone by 2022. If it doesn't surpass 5K subscribers, I'll be laughing. But I can see it's going to do it, and it's going to be accomplished much better now. Once you get that monetization going, brother, I guarantee you they're going to start sending you subscribers left and right, left and right, left and right. Trust me on this.
Absolutely. Look, can't nothing keep us down. Can't nothing keep us from what we want, man. We're so accustomed to victimhood and we're defeated before we even try most of the time. It is not how men act, man. There's literally nothing we can't accomplish. We had the Manosphere. We didn't even talk about the Manosphere meetup, and they said that couldn't happen, and it did, and it was extremely successful, enraging some of these guys, really sending them just completely off the cliff. But we're just going to continue to push forward and build a community of men that, when the world wants to know what black people think, they'll come to us first. Mm-hmm. Nobody else. Not groups of black women, not groups of effeminate, weirdo black males, but they'll come to the men that run the community, which will be us. And not running the whole black community, because there's no way to save everybody. We'll deal with the like-minded men and women. That's it. That's it.
All right, thank you again for LittleBig Nate for coming by, and we're going to do this again soon, brother. Have a great day or week or whatever, and can't wait until you start fire back up again. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you might give me another wrench if possible. We'll see.
No problem, man. Just help me get to that 500. and I'll be out there.
All right, cool. Oh, and I probably will put the link to the channel in the description of this stream. So don't worry. All right.
All right, man.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Salute.
And to everybody that listened to tonight's broadcast, I appreciate it. To close out 2021. And I forgot to ask the future for the man's channel, but like you know, he is starting fresh, so I know what the future holds for LittleBig Nate. Stay tuned and subscribe to his channel. And like always with Chaos Rain moving forward, not sure what I'm gonna do in 2022. I'm still figuring out some things, possibly, maybe. Well, like always, you know, doing podcasting, now streaming, YouTube, social media, etc. This is a very unusual journey, I have to say so myself. The only thing you see moving forward is you're going to see maybe more guests, possibly, and maybe some other topics I'll try to discuss. But other than that, you're going to still see some content nonetheless. But that's pretty much it. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to today's stream. If you're new to Chaos Rain channel, please hit the red button at the top bell for uploads, notifications of when I stream or upload on the Chaos Rain channel. And also follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7 and add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. Thank you again for listening to tonight's stream. Until next time, take care and good night.
I'd like to thank LittleBig Nate as a special guest on my stream. And like always, subscribe to LittleBig Nate's new YouTube channel. That'll be in the description below. And like always, comment, subscribe, and like this video. You can now follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. Add me a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. And also, you can now join my Discord server. The links will be in the description. And like always, let it get us.